Unpacking the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles season. The Philadelphia Eagles' 2023 season has left fans and analysts alike baffled. After coming so close to winning the Super Bowl in 2022, the Eagles experienced a dramatic fall from grace. The once dominant team, led by head coach Nick Sirianni, became a shadow of their former selves. Questions have arisen about Sirianni's credit for the 2022 season and the dynamics within the locker room. In this video, we unpacking the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles season, tracing their journey from the heights of 2022 to their steep decline. The 2022 season was a triumphant one for the Eagles. They finished with an impressive 14-3 record, winning the NFC East and establishing themselves as one of the league's elite teams. They ranked third in scoring and eighth in points allowed, a testament to their balanced excellence on both offense and defense. The formula for their success was clear: a potent offense and a stifling defense. Offensively, the Eagles were a juggernaut. They scored over 30 points 6 times in the regular season and in every postseason game. Their rushing attack was particularly formidable. Miles Sanders rushed for 1,269 yards and 11 touchdowns, while backups Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell added 5 touchdowns combined. Quarterback Jalen Hurts was another key rusher, amassing 760 yards and 13 rushing touchdowns, averaging 4.6 yards per carry. The passing game was equally impressive. The addition of big-bodied wide receiver A.J. Brown complemented Devonta Smith, creating a dynamic receiving duo. Brown recorded 1,496 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns, while Smith contributed 1,196 yards and 7 touchdowns, making the Eagles' aerial attack one of the most feared in the league. Defensively, the Eagles were just as dominant. They recorded 70 sacks, the third most in NFL history, with players like Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham leading the charge. The secondary was also strong, with Darius Big Play Slay having a Pro Bowl season, James Bradbury performing well opposite him, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson leading the team with 6 interceptions. Head coach Nick Sirianni was lauded for his leadership, embodying the hard-nosed attitude of the city. His coordinators, Shane Steichen on offense and Jonathan Gannon on defense, were also praised for their roles in the team's success. Despite losing the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs in a close game marked by a controversial call, the future looked bright for the Eagles. Many believed they were on the brink of establishing a dynasty. The Eagles entered the 2023 season with high expectations, buoyed by their success the previous year. They started the season strong, winning their first 5 games. By the end of Week 12, they were 10-1, having secured impressive victories over the Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, and Buffalo Bills in consecutive weeks. They appeared destined to win the NFC and return to the Super Bowl. Week 13 marked a significant turning point for the Eagles. They faced the San Francisco 49ers, a team still bitter about their loss to the Eagles in the previous season's NFC Championship game. The 49ers dominated the Eagles, winning 42-19 in Philadelphia. This loss was shocking considering the Eagles' strong start to the season. Many attributed the defeat to the Eagles being fatigued after a grueling stretch of games. Despite the loss, the Eagles were still 10-2 and leading the NFC. With a seemingly manageable remaining schedule, away games against the Cowboys and Seahawks, and home games against the struggling Giants and Cardinals. However, the Eagles faltered, losing 4 of their final 5 games. They were crushed by the Cowboys and Seahawks, narrowly beat the Giants, and then lost to the Cardinals and Giants again in the final game of the season. The Eagles' dramatic decline can be attributed to several factors, including significant changes to their roster and coaching staff before the 2023 season. Key players and coordinators left the team, and their departures had a more profound impact than many anticipated. First, the Eagles lost their interception leader, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. His absence weakened the secondary, which had been a strength in 2022. Additionally, Both offensive coordinator Shane Steichen and defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon departed for head coaching positions with the Indianapolis Colts and Arizona Cardinals, respectively. While many believed the Eagles could adapt with new coordinators, reality proved otherwise. Looking at the Eagles' record in the first half of the 2023 season, deeper analysis reveals signs of trouble. Their opening game against the New England Patriots, a team that finished 8-9, was a narrow 25-20 victory. The Eagles' offense struggled, and the Patriots' mediocre offense managed to score 3 touchdowns. In Week 2, the Eagles faced the Minnesota Vikings, who turned the ball over 4 times. Despite this, the Eagles only won 38-28. In Week 4, the Eagles needed overtime to beat the Washington Commanders, another team that finished 8-1. Week 6 saw the Eagles lose to the New York Jets, led by backup quarterback Zach Wilson after committing 4 turnovers, including a critical late-game interception by Hurts. When the Eagles played the Chiefs after their bye week, they benefited from Kansas City's uncharacteristic mistakes, including dropped passes. Had Marquez Valdez-Scantling caught a perfectly balanced deep ball from Patrick Mahomes, the outcome could have been different. Similarly, the thrilling overtime win against the Bills in Week 12 hinged on a miscommunication between Josh Allen and Gabe Davis. Without these fortunate breaks, the Eagles' record might have been significantly worse. The Week 13 loss to the 49ers exposed the Eagles' vulnerabilities. Nick Bosa of the 49ers even claimed they had provided a blueprint for beating the Eagles. "Obviously, we put the blueprint out there," Bosa said, encouraging other teams to study the tape. Following this game, the Eagles' performance declined sharply, winning only one more game against the Giants, which was a close call and required favorable officiating decisions. Critics like Rex Ryan and Dan Orlovsky pointed out the Eagles' deficiencies. Ryan described the Eagles' defense as vanilla, criticizing their predictable schemes that did little to challenge opposing offenses. "I'm watching them like, oh, they're in cover 2. Oh, they're in cover 4. They do nothing to challenge the offense," Ryan said on ESPN's Get Up. He emphasized the lack of a knockout punch, likening the team to a boxer who wins by decision but lacks the ability to deliver a decisive blow. Orlovsky echoed these sentiments, noting that the Eagles' defense failed to adjust to the 49ers' strategies, particularly their 4-strong formation. This lack of preparation and poor coaching decisions highlighted the impact of losing their experienced coordinators. The departures of Steichen and Gannon had a more significant impact than anticipated. Steichen, now the head coach of the Colts, demonstrated his coaching prowess by leading Indianapolis to a respectable season, despite a rebuilding phase. Gannon's tenure with the Cardinals showed promise despite a losing record, as the team played with heart and competitiveness, even without star quarterback Kyler Murray for most of the season. The Eagles still had head coach Nick Sirianni, but the team struggled without the guidance of their former coordinators. Sirianni, who had benefited from having an excellent staff in 2022, was exposed as being less effective without them. The once dominant offensive and defensive units faltered, and the team's weaknesses became more apparent. Despite the disastrous 2023 season, there is hope for the Eagles in 2024. The team has made significant moves to address their issues, starting with the hiring of new coordinators. Kellen Moore has been brought in as the offensive coordinator, while veteran coach Vic Fangio will take over as the defensive coordinator. These hires bring a wealth of experience and tactical acumen to the team. The Eagles have also made key roster moves. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has returned, bolstering the secondary. Additionally, they made a splash by signing star running back Saquon Barkley. The Eagles have always been a team that thrives on a strong running game, and Barkley's addition should rejuvenate their ground attack. However, there are still concerns. The team lost their Hall of Fame center Jason Kelce and veteran defensive lineman Fletcher Cox to retirement. These departures leave significant gaps that need to be filled. The offensive line, while still one of the best in the league, will need to adjust without Kelce's leadership. The defensive line similarly will have to cope with the loss of Cox's experience and presence. Nick Sirianni faces a critical season in 2024. After a massive collapse in 2023, he needs to demonstrate that he can lead the team to success without relying solely on superstar coordinators. The Eagles must address their weaknesses and fill key positions to return to their winning ways. The 2023 season was a harsh reminder that even the most promising teams can falter. The Eagles, who soared so high in 2022, experienced a humbling fall. Yet with new leadership and strategic additions, they have the potential to rise again. The hope for Eagles fans is that the lessons learned from this past season will fuel a resurgence, propelling the team back to the top of the NFL. Keep the faith, stay passionate, and let's fly high once more.